beginning of the end.
Welcome to Dark Tower Month for a Comic a Day, and this is the last video. So if you have no idea any of the other videos that have come out, this is the very last one coming out this month for this bunch of comics. I had something here. Let's take two. Welcome to Dark Tower Month for a Comic a Day, and if you have no idea what I've been doing this month, this is the last video, so you should go back and watch all the videos beforehand before watching this one. We are on the last video of this run of comics, so you should know by now that this month I am featuring my partner in crime, Criff.
What up?
From Bard and Criff Vlog. Format is just a little looser with analysis throughout the recappy bits, so massive spoilers are massive for everything Dark Tower this month. You've been warned!
And thus it begins, the final battle. For 99% of everyone.
We begin the final episode of the final issue with both sides staring down. We begin the final episode of the final issue with both sides just staring down each other. Only like a little bit over a handful of gunslingers versus, well, a full army. But by God, the gunslingers give it their all.
They give it a stroke, apparently.
But by God, do the gunslingers give it their all. Yet Farson's men are a tidal wave pushing against their rock. They drop hundreds, but even one death of the gunslingers equals that many men. Eileen is the first to fall. Well, maybe not the first, but
the first major character to fall.
Yeah.
And I gotta admit, I wasn't expecting this to hurt, but it did.
Really?
Yes. Like, between treachery and then fall and battle, like, I grew to love Eileen as a character. And, you know, she was created for the comics, but, you know, just her tenacity and the fact that she fought to be a gunslinger. She fought for what she believed in.
And what did you think about her last words about, you know, I hope Roland isn't angry with me?
That was just too cheesy.
Yeah, it was. Like, I love the dynamic they've given Eileen, but they really did kind of make it so that...
Like, I would have liked it
she was a lovesick puppy at the end.
Like, I would have liked it better if she just scolded Bert for running away from the battle to help her, as opposed to continuing shooting.
I did like the, you know, I can't feel my hands. How can I shoot if I can't feel my hand? You know, I actually liked that. It was the Roland bit tacked on that made me go.
Yeah, the Roland bit didn't need to be there. Like, okay, I understand they had like a little developing love thing going on between, you know, Faraday and all that.
And by the way, again, I'm actually really sad that they've never hooked up. Even if it was just in a passing, like they mentioned that, you know, they shared beds now or something.
But like, they could have kept that out. Like, okay, Elaine had some very powerful final words.
Yeah.
Randolph had some powerful words atoning for what he did.
Yeah.
I'd talk about some other final words that show up in here, but I'd be spoiling things. But Eileen's, if they had kept that one sentence out, just not had her talk about Roland at all, it would have been a lot better. Like, part of it is, like, if they hadn't shown the romance between the two of them and those were her final words, I could understand because she didn't want her Din upset with her. But because there was the romance, it just made it, oh, well, I hope he doesn't hate me. Shut up and die.
I like how he's the one who started off this bit, because I didn't even have a pause in the script for, you know, let's talk about Eileen now. No. So he started with, man, this actually really got to me. Shut up and die!
All that, just straight off the top of the dome piece, by the way. We're starting to hit that time of the night where I go to a dark place, and I'm sorry.
And then Bert rushes towards her. He's hit, but only in the shoulder and the leg, so he's not out. Sort of.
Well, honestly, the moment that happened, you want to know what popped in my head?
Huh.
Well, we're going to have to replace an arm and a leg. And then I started thinking about automail.
Dude,
And
what does FMA have to do with this?
Because it's where he got shot. It destroyed his arm and his leg.
Fair point, I guess.
I want to see Full Metal Cuthbert. No, sorry. I want to see Full Metal Cookie.
It's going to be a running gag that we started last video. That only Patreons will probably understand. Kind of like Scooter Checker.
That just means we need a picture with the silhouette of Cuthbert that just says Cookie at the bottom of it on a t-shirt now.
When they announce who's playing Cuthbert, we'll get onto that.
But anyways,
a flamethrower takes out Thomas and a couple other gunslingers.
So, it wasn't that one flamethrower that was... Or this could be the same flamethrower for all we know.
Well, they did... they could have. They did take Gilead the city, so... Yeah, and they didn't destroy the flamethrower. They just needed it refilled.
And, gas stations are apparently a thing.
A religious orgy place.
Pray to the pump.
Big Papa Pump is our god. Scott Steiner, you know what I'm talking about. Anyways,
that was a visual joke no one is going to get. They're just going to hear me say, ow.
Anyways, look up Big Papa Pump and you'll know what we're talking about. Anyways, Jamie then dives onto Roland, a sniper bullet missing his din, but sliding through Jamie's head. The gunslingers, now so much lesser, with only Cuthbert and Roland as the face of the few we know.
Honestly, I didn't care too much about Jamie's death.
Or Thomas's. Literally, their introduction explains how I felt about them.
Yeah, their names and fathers don't matter, so...
Which I think actually is really sad for Jamie, because he actually did just save, Roland.
Right, but that was the first important thing he's done.
But it was important. Are you suggesting that Roland not being shot in the head isn't important?
I'm pretty sure Roland wouldn't be shot in the head to begin with. Some other Deus Ex Machina would have happened. Some magical bolt of lightning would have struck the bullet out of the air or something.
And then just cut to Martin just, what the hell just happened?
It's Roland. He's always destined to find the tower.
So anyways, the gunslingers, now so much fewer, are ready for their final charge.
It's not a good charge. It's the worst charge on the planet.
It's kind of like
they should have ran.
Charge of the Light Brigade?
No, they should have ran. Because now we're going into the worst thing to happen in this entire series.
So Bert, stepping towards Roland, reveals just how weak his body is. Roland has to help him to the top of the rocky hill. But Bert blows that damn horn of Eld as they give their last charge. Everyone dies. And they even show Cuthbert getting the... Don't look at me like that. I have to report this. I was about to go Michael Cole there. I'm not going to. But...
I feel like a war correspondent with you reporting this.
Bert... It's okay. Bert gets a crossbow bolt through the eye. However, considering how he could barely make it to the top of the hill, he was probably going to die anyway.
Oh, he was going to die from blood loss. But... And one thing I do have to say about the art is they did keep one thing that I'm very happy for.
What's that?
The fact that Cookie died with that stupid smile on his face. That smile that never went away.
Did you have to call him Cookie while
Yes, I did! It's a thing now! I'm making it a thing!
He's making it a thing! Look at his badass over here. So anyways, Roland gets shot through the chest, but he's still up. Even able to make a joke about when one of the big, blue-faced barbarians is like, surrender.
I could have sworn that was General Grissom, actually.
No, it might have been, but I don't think we ever see General Grissom without his head and...
Without his weird Shogun hat?
Yeah. And the dude standing in front of him was just a blue Minsk from Dungeons and Dragons. So, but the barbarian's all like, surrender. And he's like, I refuse to accept your surrender. And then he gets smacked across the head, left for dead.
Which you should never do. You should always check and confirm the kill.
Always double tap your protagonists, people. Hours, maybe days or lifetimes, among the dead bodies of the slain, Roland finally stands. The last gunslinger swears revenge. He'll find that damn tower. He'll make it right. Or that's what he thinks anyways.
Well, eventually he may.
But that is the end of this miniseries. It will never end for him. Not for him. Never.
He'll always be chasing that damned tower.
However, that is the end of this month of laugh, tears, 808s, and heartbreaks. So what you think of this?
Honestly, going in as a gung-ho book fan, like...
Yeah, when you started off, you were...
I remember back in 2008 when Gunslinger Born, the very first issue, came out. And I saw it. And I flipped through it. And I saw the artwork. And I refused to read it. As we said in a few other videos that we've done, this is my version of Harry Potter or Lord of the Rings or any other major... It's my version of your Dune.
Well, I'm going to say that's not true. Yeah, I mean, as my Dune, yes. But your Harry Potter is Artemis Fowl.
Well, I mean, with how much I've, gone back into the lore and, read these books over and over and over.
And over?
Yeah, sometimes. But, a lot of people, this is the best thing on the planet, this is my lifeblood, yada yada, blah blah blah. That's how I feel with these books. And seeing that artwork in the Gunslinger Born and realizing that they took, as I said many times during the Gunslinger Born, the worst book and made it into a long, drawn-out series, I was not having it. Now coming through and reading Gunslinger Born, reading The Long Road Home, reading Treachery, reading Fall of Gilead, reading Battle of Jericho Hill, I'm okay with it. Is it going to be something that, I'll reread over and over, continuing on, like I do the books? No. Am I a better person for reading it? No, because I had to watch my favorite character get shot through the eye, Jahadun style.
But he didn't grab the arrow and then eat his eyeball off of it.
I'm pretty sure he didn't have the strength to do so, and I'm pretty sure this one punctured brain. Crossbows fire with a lot more tension.
Oh, Cuthbert has a brain.
Crossbows fire with a lot more tension than a regular bow. But, it's not bad. It's not a bad read. It has its ups, it has its downs, like any book will. And I'm okay with reading it. I don't feel like I don't want to, go bleach my brain like I have with some other things.
Like what?
The food book. And you know what food book I refer to.
This is the end of this interview. We're done. Anyways. Back to... But no, so Gunslinger Born,
I'm still not a fan of Gunslinger Born.
But I think it's because it's too much of Wizards and Glass to...
It is. It's just a retelling of what it took 600 pages to talk about in Wizard and Glass.
And actually I noticed it, since I do all the editing on these, you really didn't like there were parts of Gunslinger Born you liked,
Yeah.
But your enjoyment of the franchise, or, the comics, did this. Okay, it grew the further away from, the books it became. Or rather, from the set, this is what we know happens. Like Long Road Home, you liked that.
Yeah, I started really getting into it with Long Road because it started taking a very boring, very slow tale and made it something all its own.
Right. And then with Treachery, like you brought up with Eileen earlier, she was strictly for the book, or strictly for the comics. And then it became, you really started enjoying her as a character.
Yeah, she was a very well fleshed out character.
And then she got speared like a little piggy.
Well, yeah, then she became a fleshless character. Boom.
Boo. So, and as for me, since I brought you in, you got the books, I got the comics. On a comic level, I want to say that as a wrap-up, this worked well. I mean, they still knew that they were going to possibly do more, so they didn't,
Right.
They
couldn't kill off Roland.
Well, they could have and really made this totally different.
No, they couldn't have. There's no humanly unless they had Stephen King's blessing to make this the final cycle.
Well, Stephen King was the executive and creative producer on
right,
this.
but
so...
Stephen King will never let the tower die.
Well, I don't know. For like 20 years, he let it at least sit on the back burner.
Well, yeah, he let it rest, but he never let it die.
That's true. It's why most of the books written in the time where he started the book series. Well, I want to say like when the third one came out, and then now they all tie in together. Be it Toadash Space, be it Pennywise the Dancing Clown bitching about the Great Turtle and how he's a douchebag,
right?
Or the kids getting the power from Gon.
Or Stephen King writing the book through Gon's navel, just being a vessel for the white.
Or Stephen King appearing in it at all.
Still a weird creative
choice.
But
anyways, taking all of the franchise out and just looking at it as comics, I really enjoyed these. Like Gunslinger Born, I thought was actually really good. Liked it better than you did, but I hadn't read Wizards and Glass at that point. Because Wizards and Glass is right before where I ended, because I tried that, like 10, 15 years ago. I think you let me borrow it, actually. It had to be like 10, it was when we...
It's still not a good book.
It's not, and I stopped because it was like...
I was actually having a conversation earlier with a mutual friend of ours, and we were talking about The Dark Tower, because we were talking about book series that we'd started and never finished.
Right.
And she's talking about it, she's like, yeah, I think I finished on 3. I'm like, good, you can just go right ahead and skip 4, because it adds nothing to the plot.
No, I think there's like 100 pages of relative plot happening.
Not really.
Not true, it's all recapped or not recapped, but it's all explained in 5.
Well, it's not even that. Literally, during the flashbacks in Wizard and Glass, because I went back and picked it back up, and then put it back down. The entire flashback scene takes place during their actual timeline. So they're passing through the Thinny and the Emerald City while it happens.
I did not know that.
Like, Stephen King wrote himself into a corner and didn't know where it was going.
So he just said
flashback and then just skipped everything.
And then drugs.
He just skipped everything.
Actually, I think Wizards and Glass was the first one he wrote without the drugs, isn't he?
Wizard and Glass was him on the painkillers after the van ran him over.
Oh, okay. I like how there's 3 stages of... Well, there's probably 4 stages, before fame and before drugs. But then again, he wrote things like Carry On That, so give or take. Then you've got when he was, doing all of the drugs, which is where you get your Cujos. And I think the first half of Gunslinger. And then you've got the, okay, I'm going to clean up now. Bam! Van! Painkillers. So ultimately, and then we have the now where he's okay, but I really haven't read I haven't read Dr. Sleep yet.
Under the Dome is pretty good.
I'm hearing I heard that it was okay. It was better than Cell.
Well, it's hard to be worse than Cell.
But anyways, let me wrap this up. We can get on to us talking just about
Stephen King later, yeah.
For the actual,
vlog channel.
Vlog. We have a vlog channel for that. But on a comic level, these are actually really good comics, I think. You can look back, and a lot of what I say, is me judging them as comics. When we got into the whole, here's a billion paragraphs versus 5 panels of art, when they would over-explain, or when they'd randomly do, way back when Gilead was founded, ... and stuff like that. And the prose at the end is also not bad. Like when they...
I can't get through the prose at the end of the books. I really can't.
They're pretty much just explanations, but at the same time it's...
I mean, for me, I think it's because they're explanations of things I already know.
That could definitely be it. However, we have the Dark Tower quiz on the Bard and Criff channel that proves you may not know that much. Yeah, what, son?
Anyways,
so overall, you liked it?
I enjoyed it, yeah.
I liked it. Yeah, it was aight. So,
only douchebags answer themselves.
Do douchebags also ask themselves questions? Yes. Yes, they do. But anyways, that's all for this month. Do come back tomorrow where I have a Patreon one-shot review. Then the rest of the month, I'm checking out some stuff for some other fans. Check Criff and myself out on the Bard and Criff vlog channel, links in below. Like the Archivist on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, and please pledge to our Patreon. Think of the children! Seriously though, $2 a month does get you a lot of the unediteds of this month, and boy, you need to listen to them.
You get Bard and Criff uncut and raw.
Including a 5-minute speech about Stephen King and the term white daddy. Oh yeah.
It goes where you think it goes, and how that's not a good thing.
Also, check out my other channels, ComicSins, where I tally up the sins and win of any given comic, and my main channel, the Comic Archivist. And soon there shall be many more. And soon there may be more Archivist channels, but have to wait and see on that. And as always, stay golden, Inklings.
Bye-bye!